This series is based on my book, Anthony King's Guide to Michael Jackson's Dangerous Tour. You can also find Anthony King's Guide to Michael Jackson's History Tour, as well as Michael Jackson and Classical Music. They're all available on paperback as well as Amazon Kindle. You can find out more on my website, anthony-king.com. Pre-recorded elements on the Dangerous Tour. What is a click track and what is a multi-track? Michael Jackson's Dangerous Tour had a great band who, on some of the songs, utilised a technique called playing to a click track. I am using this technical term loosely because in 1992 this may have manifested in different types of ways, from MIDI, multi-track, to loops, to samples, triggers, computers. I use the term to describe any use of pre-recorded elements in songs performed on the tour. However, I'm not interested in the technical way in which this was achieved, just the fact that the end result was utilised for the performance. What is a click track? A click track is a kind of metronome, a timing series of indicators that the drummer, most likely, will play to, allowing him and the band to be completely in time and for other musical elements to be easily added and triggered at the exact correct moment as required. The click track would then probably have a multi-track with all or some of the pre-recorded elements on it in the mix, and which is heard by the audience. The audience would not hear the metronome and the click track, only the drummer or possibly certain band members or technicians who require it. What is a pre-recorded element and how do they work? There are various types of pre-recorded elements on a multi-track. I use that term loosely because multi-layered different sounds can be achieved using different keyboards as well as technical multi-tracks, and Michael's band changed techniques over the course of the tours. However, from the Bad Tour onwards would use multi-layered soundtracks on various songs. Specific types of pre-recorded elements can be pre-recorded on the multi-track, triggered on top of the multi-track, and live music by a keyboard or an instrument live, a loop which is taken from the original album, which is then used as a foundation to the song and then played on top of. The click track often included Michael's pre-recorded backing vocals, sometimes a pre-recorded lead vocal, synthesizer and keyboard sounds, and the most often used percussion sounds, hits and elements. What songs utilised the click track? Jam, Smooth Criminal, I Just Can't Stop Loving You, Thriller, Will You Be There, Dangerous, The Way You Make Me Feel, Bad, Black or White, Heal the World, and Man in the Mirror. If you take a close listen to the up-tempo songs which are not played to click track, you will notice that these are the ones that have a different type of energy and vibe. This is very noticeable during the History Tour, but less so during the Dangerous Tour. These songs were played 100% live with no pre-recorded click track elements. Wanna Be Starting Something, Human Nature, She's Out of My Life, the Jackson 5 medley, I Want You Back, The Love You Save and I'll Be There, Billie Jean, Working Day and Night, and Beat It. This excludes loops, samples, triggers, which were often utilised in all performed songs, usually to end a section or the song with a loud hit, bang or crash. There are other ways to identify click track songs. One of the easiest ways to identify whether a song is being performed to a click track is to look at the drummer, Ricky Lawson, and determine one thing: is he wearing headphones? If he is wearing headphones, like he is in Jam, he is listening to the click track. However, he also often played to a click track without headphones, so this is not ironclad. An ironclad way is to listen to the vocals and determine whether you can hear Michael's voice in the backing vocals. If you can, it's a click track. The backing singers would then sing on top of that. Another good way, but not ironclad, is to listen and watch the way the song starts. If it starts suddenly, like Wanna Be Starting Something, it will usually be 100% live. This is because the band need time to align themselves with the click track and then start playing. This may cause a delay of 1 or 2 bars, real-time delay of 4 to 5 seconds. This is very obvious during the History Tour, say, during Off the Wall medley. However, if you look at the speed of the Jackson 5 medley, you will tell it's 100% live and free. Jam is an unusual case which is in between. It's triggered and played to a click track, but as it's the first song, they are watching Michael and ready really closely and ready to go. However, this caused many problems during the tour, which we will look at later in this series.